Hello, and as always, thank you guys for tuning in to the adventures of D-Webb Enterprises LLC. Today is Friday, February 4th, 2022, and on today's video, I just want to explain why it's better to contact me directly over going through third-party websites such as Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, StubHub, VividSeat, etc. There's so many other ones that a lot of people use that commonly get tickets bought off of, and there's nothing wrong with using any of those websites because 99% of the tickets on any of those websites are completely legitimate. There's just pros and cons to using those websites. Again, you always know they're legitimate, especially if you use Ticketmaster or StubHub. In my own opinion, I've definitely been traveling and been talking to people at sporting events, and people would say, "Oh, those websites can sell you fake tickets," and I don't know, maybe some people have been scammed on them, but I've never had an issue when I've ever purchased tickets for an event off of any of those websites. If anything, if something happens and you're not getting the tickets, you can usually contact the customer support and they'll either give you some sort of credit or they will basically reimburse you a new ticket. So I don't know. I've never had issues using any of those websites, but I also don't use any of the really unwell known name ones. Again, I only sell my tickets on Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, StubHub, and VividSeat, and those are the only four that I really know and trust a lot. So I'm not saying there isn't other ones that are completely fine to use, but I've never been scammed on any of those websites. One time for a sporting event, I hadn't got the ticket, so I contacted the customer support, and again, they gave me a credit for the full amount that I paid, so I just had to buy new tickets. It wasn't the end of the world, but you will always hear horror stories, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's just from my own personal experiences and my own opinions. So, again, I'm not an expert on any of these topics that I talk about. It's just something that I've been learning. So, I try to express anything that I know to help anybody else. But, again, long story short is I don't have a problem with anybody purchasing on any of those websites. I sell on those websites, and even if you contact me directly and don't want to send me money, I tell people I will sell you them on the websites. You just have to tell me which website you like to use because I can go onto my profile where I have my listings and I can just lower my ticket prices at any time. So if you call me directly and say, "Hey, I don't directly want to send you money through PayPal or whatever agreement we would normally agree on," they might say, "But I'll still purchase from you. I just want to use Ticketmaster or I just want to use StubHub," whatever one they want to use. And I'll say, "Okay, well, while we're on the phone, I'll go on my listings and I'll lower my prices, say $25, depending on the price of the event and the ticket and how much I paid for it. Maybe I can lower it $25 or $20, and that way, even though you're still paying fees and taxes, and this is going to go to why I'm saying it is better to not use those websites, is because yes, we might agree on you paying me $75 for the ticket, but you got to think that you're also going to pay fees and taxes on top of that. So I might say, okay, yeah, $75 per ticket for 4 tickets, but that doesn't really mean you're only going to be paying, what is that, 75, 150, 300. That doesn't really mean you're going to be paying $300. You're going to be paying $300 plus the fees and taxes, which might be almost another $100. Now, again, take that with a grain of salt. That's just me throwing numbers out off the top of my head. Maybe it's only closer to $50 extra, but some people, for that peace of mind, would rather pay the extra $50 and use the website, knowing that even though they contacted me and they got a little bit of a better deal, that if something were to go wrong, they don't have to just call me. And because, for example, I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and a lot of the tickets I sell are out in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Allegiant Stadium. So they want that peace of mind to know that they don't have to call me out of state and try and figure this out when they could technically call Ticketmaster or StubHub's contact customer service. But basically, I don't always think that's the better option because I would do anything I could to fix the situation. So that's why I do try to tell people to contact me directly. But for example, if I'm traveling or I'm at a sporting event and I give out my business card, I do give them the option to, like I explained to them, they don't have to ever send me money directly. We can always use these websites, whatever one you're comfortable with. But that's when I've had a few people in the middle of me explaining that say, "Oh, I don't trust StubHub. People sell fake tickets," or "I don't trust SeatGeek." Whatever the reasoning is, or whatever story they heard, I've personally never had any problems with any of them. So I don't think it's a bad way of selling tickets is putting them on there and telling people you to contact you and you can lower the price. But that's just one reason it's better to contact me directly. The other reason is especially after you've purchased tickets off me a few times, even if you did use the website, once you feel more comfortable and you see that I'm legitimate, and that's the whole reason I make these YouTube videos and I give out business cards, is because I want to seem as legitimate as possible. I'm trying to run a legitimate business, so I need people to know that I'm not a scammer, because that seems to be the biggest thing, is people are worried about sending money to someone and then never receiving the ticket back, which, again, I'm not saying that's not something to be nervous about, and always keep your guard up and don't just send money to anybody and everybody that says that they have tickets, but someone that's going out of their way to put their face out there and to be able to market themselves and try to do anything they can to prove that they're legitimate, they probably are being honest and just trying to do the same thing I am and sell tickets for a profit. So and that's another thing, people don't even understand how profits can be made throughout selling tickets, but that's a whole nother video. Right now I just want to explain why it's better to purchase from me as a buyer. So again, once you're past the point of either bought off of the website a few times, like the StubHub or SeatGeek, like called me and bought them for a lower price, whether you did that a few times and you feel more comfortable, or you met me in person and you just genuinely didn't think I seemed shifty and you were willing to send me money, basically the main reason that that's the better way to do it is because then you don't pay fees and taxes, and the reason it's better for me is I don't lose 10 to 15% of my sales. So depending on the website I use, like it ranges. I'm not gonna nitpick each one right now, that could be for another video also, but basically different websites that I use and list my tickets on, I lose anywhere from 10% to 15%, and that's also before I pay my taxes on top of that, so I'm gonna lose potentially another around 30%. So I might almost lose 45% of my profits before I even actually get to see my benefits and my profits and go and spend them on things, because I need to make sure to pay my taxes. Now, again, that's like besides the point. That's more of the seller's point of view. But the reason that I'm explaining that is because it's obviously better for me not to lose that 15%. And the reason it's better for you as a buyer is because you don't have to worry about basically the sales and taxes. So again, for example, you buy 4 tickets at $75, you're going to pay $300 exactly if you contact me, and that's what we agree on. I'm going to say, okay, I'll do it for $75 a ticket. Send me the $300 through PayPal or however we agree on it. If the event's far enough in advance, you can send me a check, or we can agree on some sort of payment method if you don't feel comfortable with PayPal. But again, long story short is you will get it for the exact price that we agree on. You're not going to pay the fees and taxes. Now again, some people feel better paying the fees and taxes just to go through one of those websites so that they know that they're a little extra protected by a multi-billion-dollar company. So that's why I offer both. And again, so one thing I want to say too is I would prefer people to buy off me directly without using the websites, just as a personal opinion. And that's not to hate on any of the websites. Obviously, I don't get enough views. None of my videos are sponsored, so there's no reason for me to talk good or bad on these websites. I'm just saying it makes me more money, more profit if you contact me directly. That's the main reason that I try to do that. So if I'm traveling or I'm at a sporting event and I'm talking to somebody and I think potentially maybe they'd buy tickets off me, because again, I sell tickets to the Pittsburgh Steelers here in Pennsylvania and then also to the Las Vegas Raiders out in Nevada. So I have tickets to both of those season passes, and then on top of that, I get rights to any of the concerts or any other sporting events that are held in either stadium, which, of course, there's only a handful in Pittsburgh. There are a ton more in Las Vegas that get held there. So that's why on StubHub, when you sell tickets, now if it's a sporting event, you have to put the barcodes in, and it just sends it directly to them, so you don't get any contact with the buyer. But on StubHub, if you sell concert tickets, which I get a lot of those through the Allegiant Stadium, I get a chance that I have to send them the email with the link to download the tickets. So when I send that email, I also usually send one first with a picture of my business card. Again, it's pretty hard to see, you can't really, it just says all my general information, but I'll send a picture of my business card, and then with my business card, I just use a little description trying to tell them, hey, I sell tickets, if you ever need anything, contact me directly. And again, I'm not trying to go against StubHub's policy, I don't know all their rules, never saw anything saying that you can't do something like that, send an email just promoting yourself as a business. So I hope I'm not breaking their code. I don't want to be kicked off their platform by any means. That's not the intentions of this video, is to get people to cut StubHub out, because again, I told you guys at the beginning, that is a completely legitimate website. I use it, I sell my tickets on it, and I don't frown against people who don't feel comfortable sending me money directly. But the reason I made the video is just, again, I haven't made a video about selling tickets, so I just kind of wanted to get back to this again, and I'm sorry, I have been slacking on putting a bunch of videos out. I've just been a little preoccupied with my own little situation, trying to sell tickets and decide on what's worth buying and selling. So I've just been really busy, but I appreciate all the support. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. I really want to know what you guys want to hear about. Leave in the comments, and I'm going to try and make as many videos as I can that help anybody else to make a better business decision, or just make them maybe a little extra side money, even if they're not trying to do it as a full business, but me giving them the idea of selling tickets. Maybe in their own home city they'll get 4 seats and then sell 2 and go with their wife or their friend for free, basically. Anything that I can do to help somebody else out and get a little help. I'm not an expert. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. And again, this was the Adventures of D-Webb Enterprises, LLC. Thank you guys again for watching.